All right, Lefty here, 492W. Want to talk about Project 4, some last bit pointers, specifically improvements, additions, and mechanics that I'll expect you to um, apply. All right, Project 4 is a human resources development piece. We're going to talk about improvements to Project 3 that you can apply then to Project 4. The devil's in the details is the big thing. So with Section A, your business design and vision, where you're going to define your organizational design, illustrate, reinforce, and connect that with your leadership and management vision. You want to start, if you didn't, with talking about the type of business you're having based on the 4 organizational types or terms from Chapter 2 in the textbook. So that would be a T. And then you want to cite that from the textbook. There's your R. And then you want to give a concrete illustration, more details about why and how your business is going to operate. Again, see the feedback from Project 3 on Canvas. Don't just look at the summary, go into the document and you'll see specific feedback to the specific areas. You're going to use all of Project 3 right here with that question. So first thing, you want to add, if you didn't, your purpose or your why to your business. You also want to include in Project 3 then the situational leadership theory that you selected. That was in Chapter 1. And then expand on that. You want to include with Project 3 your definitions of leadership and management and how you're going to lead and manage your business. That would be your illustrations. You want to talk about your visionary goals as a business. This gets tied into your why. And you want to use then specific strategies and objectives of how you're going to achieve those goals. Last, then you want to make sure you include your evaluation methods. Good example would be how you're going to assess the training of your staff. You must add with CPDs that are upcoming is CPD number 7, what type of business you are based on tax considerations. That's revenue and finance, CPD number 7. You also want to talk about customer service and retention, and that's CPD number 6. And then lastly, you want to give me an estimated number of your full-time staff, and then if you'll provide benefits or not. And here's where you want to start to cite health law. Again, we talked about what is required by health law as a small business in regards to full-time staff and benefits. With Section 3, the staff development plan, again, you want to incorporate what we talked in Project 3 now was those different learning styles and cycles. And more importantly then, how you're going to put that into your internal training program. Okay, so again, TRI for theory you select, and then the learning style and cycle to be used with your teaching and your training and your orientation. Again, devil is in the details. All right, then with Project 4, when you get into Section C, description of your staff development plan, again, I would apply customer service and retention into your training programs. You obviously want to do it in your internal training. Make that part of your orientation, part of your agenda. Is it 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 1 day, whatever that is. Again, you may want to put it in external training where you bring in an expert, focus on customer service and retention. Again, we want to do training evaluations, so have some tools there to assess. Is what you're doing in your training actually being achieved? And then last, staff compensation, get more details, what you're going to provide, why, and then cite, again, starting with health law, but other possible benefits and decisions. And then lastly, your staff development program, certifications, continuing ed. Big thing here is you need to provide concrete examples. So the illustration for each of these ends up being, again, an agenda or outline of how you're going to do most of them. When it gets to mechanics, last one. Most of you have done a good job with this, but I gave you some feedback if you didn't. But again, this needs to start to be the format for your final business plan. Once you get that down, then it can be consistent and easy. You're just copying, cutting, and pasting and building the same layout. You need headers for each of the sections, and then where there's numbers on any of the rubrics, those should have subheadings. Again, you must list all the references, not only the ones you cite or use, but also ones you can research and need. that you've read about. A good example is even if you don't cite the textbook, as it says here, you need to include that with every written project. Make sure you proofread, and then you can see now you need a minimum of 8 credible references listed here. One more time, personal communications are unpublished, so they're great to cite, and that would be an example of that is all my lectures are unpublished. So you can cite those or from personal experiences or maybe an interview with a business owner, maybe a family member who's a business owner. Those are personal communications. You want to cite them within the in-text document where you do that, but you don't list those as a reference and can't count as one of your minimum 8 there. All right. So again, one more time, check the due date. Don't wait till the last second. Get cracking at it here. Thanks.